Did you struggle to get your first job?
No, I don't think I did. My plan when I was in university, majoring in political science and public policy and admin, was that I was gonna go work for government and be a civil servant. At the point in time, UCT also hammered the idea that we were cream of the crop.
Let's take that. It's not more than R1 million per annum.
Mhm.
Okay, no, I'm happy with that. How did you get your first job? Do you think it's useless? What are your thoughts on this? Hi guys, welcome to The Village. My name is Bonnie. I create content around careers, education with a dose of reality check. Today, guys, we are looking at social sciences. What can we do with our social sciences degree? My guest today, Senzo Hlophe, Director of Strategic Operations, une MBA, and also EBSc Social Sciences in Public Policy and Admin from the University of Cape Town. So let's see what Senzo has in store for us. Uzositshela asithini nge-social sciences. And yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to this session. I think it's gonna be one of those productive sessions. Because you know on the streets what people are saying about social sciences. But right now, let's welcome Senzo Hlophe. Hi, Senzo, how are you?
Hi, Bonnie, I'm well, and good day to the villagers.
Yeah, I ubingelele kahle ke wena. I didn't have to tell you ukuthi hi village. Okay, welcome to the village, and siyathemba ukuthi sosizakala namhlanje as ama-graduates and young professionals maybe they've just started their careers within social sciences space, not spaces. So tell us, our first question, straight to the point. Did you struggle to get your first job?
Listen, this is like 10 years ago, so I need to go back. I need to go back to 10 years ago. Did I struggle? To be honest, no, I don't think I did. You know what? Because during my university days, I was an active student. I was involved in student leadership. I was doing part-time gigs. I was tutoring. I was doing research work and doing many things. And I think my first gig was really building from those networks. It's people who saw me working with them, who were like, listen, come and be my intern a little bit here and there. Up until I got my big break, when I got what I'll consider to be my real job, which was my obviously, yeah. So I've never struggled. I always had something to do up until I got the real gig.
Okay, so Senzo, tell us, how did you get your first job?
Sure. So one of my first jobs I did was I was doing my honors year. My supervisor linked me to a political project because I was in a politics department, and lo and behold, that project included supporting the setting up of Ahang SA back then, the political party that was led by Mampele Rampela. So that was my first job. I was working for a PR agency, though. That's the perspective I came from, focusing on communications. And I was using my politics background to help the PR agency position, I guess, Ahang SA in a specific way. So that was my first job. But then after university, having left and a dropout, I dropped out of my master's. Then I had probably about 6 months of job searching, and in between I was doing small jobs, in between consultancy gig, in between. I landed my first job as a portfolio manager for a private foundation based in Cape Town, working across South Africa. And to be honest, it was an opportunity meeting someone who was prepared, in that a friend of mine who was in the role asked me to apply for the job, and I did, without even knowing who the company was and what they do and all of that. And meeting, so, and then when I went through the process and I just got the job. So I went through the whole 9 yards of selection process, and I was lucky enough that first after 400 CV applications, probably, I finally had someone who opened the door and they were willing to listen to my story. And then, lo and behold, I got the job.
So, Senzo, that first job, then the friend, so it was not through contacts. You went through the whole 9 yards to get that job. I don't want to give people the wrong impression.
Yeah.
Can you share with us how much you were earning there? It was your first job, so it's not your current job. You can tell us.
Yo, this was back in 2015, I think, or 2014. Yo, I think it was somewhere between 200,000 and 250 per annum.
Per annum.
Yeah.
Per annum, ne?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, that's fair enough. For a first job, I think that it was a good one, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was because all I did was take that amount and divide by 12. And I was convinced I would get that in my bank account. And no one told me about tax and UIF and medical aid and pension funds and.
No, but it was not. Still, with all of that, it was not bad at all. I know a lot of people who are watching this video, they clicked on it because they want to hear what is this guy in social sciences, what is he going to say? And so I have to ask you this question, Sister Kal. Do you think I know kunama degrees amaningi within social sciences, but when you were in the political sciences, right? Do you think it's useless? What are your thoughts on this?
Listen, Bonnie, to be honest, it's not a new question. It's a question everyone dealt with varsity. To be honest, I didn't know about social sciences up until I was at university. And I had applied originally for an LLB degree. And I was accepted for a Bachelor of Social Sciences. I had no clue what that was. At that point in time in my life, the main thing was gingenile. So so that was the main thing. And then at UCT, the way it works is there are many majors you can pick from, right? For me, that was an interesting one. There were over 20 different majors I could potentially pick from, and all I needed to do was to pick a minimum of 2 or a maximum of 3 majors to do. And then it was literally I made my decision. It was familiarity. Politics, I was like, I know. Public policy, I think I know what that is. So I ended up doing what I did. And at that point, I thought I was gonna be a senior government official or I was gonna be a politician. So that was my aim in life. Because I didn't know any better, to be honest. To me, the main thing was to get to university. And I think to answer then your question about the value of social sciences, I think it's the versatility that it enables one to pick and choose what they want to do, but also not just academics, but also in terms of profession. So I'm in the NGO space, working hand in hand with government and private sector. I have friends who work in banking who were in social sciences. I have friends who are lawyers in social sciences. I have friends who are filmmakers who were in social sciences. So that versatility is what sets the Bachelor of Social Sciences degree apart from many that kind of pigeonhole you on a specific program or from first year till finishing your final year.
But Senzo, I think the biggest question would be when I can see you are an ambitious someone, right? You are a hustler like myself. You're a person who can make something out of nothing. Like, I can already see that in your spirit. Now I think maybe if I did social sciences, I would have done something with it. But I think maybe any problem, most people, they just want, okay, I did this, then it means I'm going to be this. And what I'm gathering from this, it's not like that.
Yeah.
I don't, somehow you need to be creative, find a niche, think out of the box. There's just so many things that you could do, and which requires a lot of thinking and obviously mentorship. Did you have any mentors?
Interestingly, no, I've never had a mentor. And it was not by design because I never had a mentor. Maybe just to backtrack a little bit, at UCT, I was in the mainstream academic program.
Okay.
And then there was an extended program which was for students who came from previously disadvantaged background. And all
Okay.
of my friends they had mentors, they were extra tutorial classes. I didn't, and I never knew why. To be honest, I just think it was a
Mm.
administrative help. So I've never really had a mentor. But that being said, I've always had a caring adult or someone much more senior than I who was able to shine a light on what the next step for me is. When I was
Mm.
home, that would have been my mother. When I was in matric, high school, it would have been my high school history teacher.
Mm-hmm.
University, it would my one of my lecturers who will then become my supervisor. I think in my honors
Mm-hmm.
year, when I was working, it was my boss, and all my line managers. I've always seen them as my mentors, even if we
Okay.
never formalized the relationship as
Oh,
a
okay.
mentor mentee. Yeah.
Okay. No, no, no. I know. I get what you mean. My next question, Senzo, I don't know if you have kids. Do you have kids already? Are you a father?
Nope.
Okay. Would you recommend social sciences to your sibling or your kids in the future?
I think I would allow them to choose whatever they want to do. If they land in social sciences, that's great. At least I can support them. If they don't, that's great. I'll find someone else who knows what they're doing that can support them better, at least academically. So, for
Okay.
example, in high school, I did history and geography.
Mhm.
I didn't do math. I didn't do physics. I didn't do science because I was never there was no way. And I
Okay.
have my young sister I treat as like I guess she's in grade 8 this year, and
Mm.
she's smart and she physics. So I've just been like, go do physics.
Okay.
I'll find someone who knows what you're talking about from my friends to support her
Okay.
academically. Yeah, they can
So
choose
how
whatever
was
they
your
want to do.
maths? So how was your maths at school? Did you do maths or you did maths leads?
I did math lit,
You did maths leads, okay. And then your geography and your history,
business studies, and then languages and LO.
languages and LO. Okay. So you were like, no, I'm not going there. But you knew, I can see you were ambitious, but you were not, because I think any problem corner in society, just globally, not just like South Africa, it looks like if you are not in the STEM careers, you are not umuntu or serious or umuntu ambitious enough. I can see that you were an ambitious child. You did tell me offline that you've worked at Coca-Cola. You were in grade 11, but you already had a part-time job. So you've always been that type of person that wants to, like, you wanted something for yourself, but it did not mean that it would come from STEM, basically. Look
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah.
I'm talking on your behalf. I'm speaking on your behalf.
I mean, to be honest, I think I mean, at the time, I don't think I would have seen myself as ambitious. Uh,
Mhm.
but I think it was more around assessing my circumstances at the time and being clear of what the next step is. So, for example, at that point in time, when I was making choices of which university to go to, when I got to university, which degree to do, it was about getting into university. It was about being enrolled. It was not about 10, 15 years later be in a call with Sisboni.
Okay.
um, but I guess the main thing was moving forward. So,
Moving
for
forward.
example, even the reason I didn't pick pure math and physics was I don't think my school was well equipped to have an enabling environment to facilitate teaching and learning for those
Mhm.
hard subjects. I don't think it was,
Mhm.
and I didn't feel enough. Probably I would have done better, but I just didn't think it was gonna work. I could see where it was gonna go. To your point, and I was
Okay.
like, I just want an easy way out. I want to get the A's.
We are very similar. We are very similar. And I was like, I know, whatever nje. Ezongenza nje ukuthi ngisheshe ngiphase ngiphume. Okay. But Senzo, which school did you go to? I normally ask people which school they went to.
Yeah. So I went to Nobamba High School, which is in Port Shepstone,
Okay.
which is a school I'm really proud of. There were really some amazing teachers in that school.
Mm.
It was in a more difficult environment. In fact, the way I always explain my high school is, if you know what Supatile is, that was my high school.
No, actually, I don't. Explain for someone who doesn't know.
Listen, Supatile is a fictitious school on a drama series from late 2000, early 2000s in SA, and it's based on this high school that is full of many challenges, from drug abuse to violence, disorderly, corruption, inept faculty, and just not a great environment for teaching and learning. And the reason I always compare that to my high school is that in my grade 8, the popular song, the song of the year, esangena ngayo enyakeni eyimenyezelwa kuKhozi FM, was Mafikizolo's song Nisixoshelani Iphathi Imnandi Kangaka. That was
Okay.
the song of the year going to grade 8. In my first day of grade 8, a protest in my high school, apparently because there were allegations that the then school principal wadla imali and kids were
Okay.
protesting. And obviously police came, and we were on a hill, so we were at the valley of a hill, the school, and then came, we were not me, I guess learners, senior learners, they were vandalizing infrastructure in the school, including driving cars makeshift. You can imagine the chaos. This is my grade 8.
It was yizo shame.
That's my first day.
Yo, that was not a good start. That was really not a good start. You know, it sounds more like my high school. But Senzo, tell me, did you have any clear career plan? Or did you know what type of jobs you could do with your degree? I'm talking now once you are in your degree. I'm not now talking about when you're starting. Now you've done your 3 years, 4 years, you have done your honors. Did you have a clear career plan?
I did, and it never materialized, and I'm happy it didn't. I'm happy with what materialized. My plan when I was in university, majoring in political science and public policy and admin, was that I was gonna go work for government and be a civil servant. At the point in time, UCT also hammered the idea that we were cream of the crop, we were creme de la rare, we were the top one elite of South Africa and Africa. No one competes with us here. So my idea was I was gonna leave my undergrad degree and go become a director general, which is like a CEO of a department. So that was the plan.
Okay. Shame, but you are done now with your MBA, right?
Yep,
are you
I'm done.
still? Oh, you are done. Okay, you're going back to work in January.
Yep.
Are you going back to the same position? Are you going back to the same company, same position?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about your job, Senzo, as a director of strategic operations. What does your job entail? Just put it in simple terms.
Sure. Listen, so I work for a foundation. Our job is 3 parts. The one arm of the foundation I work for is we are a grant maker. What that means, we disperse funds to NGOs that do good work across the country.
Okay.
The other arm of the foundation is we work very close with the state in helping them develop policies and improve efficiencies in many aspects of their work. The third piece is we are an incubate ideas. So where there are really interesting ideas that will disrupt the ecosystem, we are more than willing to incubate. So part of my job as a director of strategic operations is to oversee all of that within the organization.
Guys, please like and share this video and leave any questions you might have. I know you have lots of questions for our guest, Senzo Hlophe. He will come back to this video and watch it with you. and respond to all your questions. Senzo, I can tell you are very happy at your job. I can just see. I'm not going to ask you how much you are earning, but maybe I've been told, Bonnie, you always let your guest off the hook. You don't want them to discuss their salaries. Senzo, can you give us a range where you are now? I know you started somewhere, humble beginnings, but can you give us a range? You don't need to tell us a lot, but can you give us just a range? But I can see you are very happy.
That's a trick question, because it will cause industrial disharmony. I'll have my colleagues coming to me asking for specific questions.
Okay.
Good. Maybe to give you a sense to be honest, I think we live in a country that is so unequal, and one of the drivers of inequality is unemployment. And for those who are employed, one of the drivers of inequality is income inequality. But safe to say that with all that considered, I think I earn reasonably well for someone of my tender age, if that still counts as a tender age. And because you want the brackets, so the brackets is anything from the 200 and something I was earning when I started to somewhere in 1 million. It's in Stina.
No, guys, I'm not taking the 200, guys. I'm not taking the 200. But he's saying it's not more than 1 million. Okay, let's I think let's take that. It's not more than 1 million rands per annum.
Mhm.
Okay, no, I'm happy with that. Senzo, what type of soft skills do you think we need I'm not going to say for this job, but I'm just going to say for the industry that you are in, the type of work that you deal with? It might be someone who just started, they're still junior, they are not at your level. What type of soft skills do you think we need?
Yeah. I think the most important one to me is the ability to communicate, clear and simple. I think a lot of universities, or when we're in the world of work, we like using jargon or big words for no reason. It's like you asking me that question and then like, notwithstanding what the question as it stands, one can wonder. It's just like there's no need. Like there's no.
Okay.
Communicate simple. It's a soft skill to communicate simple. And I think the other one that is most important is asking questions. And it speaks to question, because a lot of us scared of asking questions because we don't want to appear dumb. So I always have a rule in my teams when a new team member joins my team is I always tell them the first 3 months there are no dumb questions. After 3 months, I will start giving you the eye of like, hi, can't we, what have you been doing the past 3 months since you've been here? And then I think the last soft skill that is really important it's such a simple thing and it doesn't even need to be a skill, is to be humble. And again, to me, as a personal trait thing, is humility goes a long way. And that's. And for example, having gone to obviously a university like UCT, probably I have some bragging rights, but it's not something I need to flaunt as if it sets me apart from many other people. In many ways, it does. It gives me a competitive advantage, but it's not something now when Boni get how Pella as a UCT graduate, no.
Wow. Okay. No, I really love the one about be comfortable with asking questions, because I think a lot of people, they struggle with that. Actually, you can ask questions. Senzo, I know there are a lot of social sciences graduates that are at home right now. Maybe they are confused, or some of them, they've already started, but maybe by a volunteer, kuma local NGOs for 2 years, 3 years, they can't really find a job. What can you say to them?
To be honest, I think this question differs from one person to the next.
Mm.
Because and I am always scared of saying things in general terms as if they apply to everyone. One of
Okay.
the things that kept me going was my family. Me now, I've always known with whatever I'm doing, it needs to go back to benefit my family.
Okay.
Sometimes I did things that were questionable, that were not ideal, but because
Mm.
I knew that in the long run they would benefit my family, and I wanted to make my grandmother proud. I wanted to make my
Mm.
granddad. I wanted to make my parents proud, my family proud. So,
Okay.
and that included kissing some couple of frogs before landing an amazing opportunity. And I
Mm.
think for athletes that probably are currently unemployed, which is a reality for many, is that find something that you like, do something, and don't be
Mm.
confined by what you graduated with. Much of the skills we learn in university, they
Mm.
are transferred. You can become a TikTok influencer and make money and get paid on YouTube, on any platform these days. I'm not on social media, so I might be butchering these things. It
Guys,
doesn't
guys,
mean just because.
guys, I don't get paid. Now Senzo will expose. But you know what? He's got a point. He's got a point on that. Yes, you can make money. I do make money on TikTok and YouTube, you know. But yeah, so he's got a point. And sometimes you might find the skills, the things that you learn, you can start doing something, do it digitally, and then it can take you somewhere, or you can even find yourself getting job opportunities while when you started by creating content, but it can lead. This was a good point, actually. I've never heard anyone saying this. This was a good
Yeah,
point. Okay.
yeah. Maybe the
Mhm.
other point that is important is the idea of passively looking for jobs. You only respond to job ads that are advertised. Listen, I'm in a position where I recruit. I am constantly recruiting for my team and for other teams within my organization. Is on
Mhm.
average we get over applications, and
Mhm.
90%, sometimes 50% of them are not ideal for that role. But I can understand the desperation of looking for a job, and
Mhm.
that's why to me I think graduate is you. I'm hoping in university you were able to build some level of social capital with your tutors, with your lecturers, with your peers. Reach out to
Mhm.
them, those who know you well, who have a foot on the door of opportunities, and be like, I'm still here, I'm still looking for something. If anything really emerges, hit me up. And that also
Mhm.
include you to proactively identify the individuals that inspire you, that one day you want to be like them.
Mhm.
Do cold inboxing on LinkedIn, for example, where you like, listen, I'm inspired by the work that you do. It's really
Mhm.
something I want. Up to the work, following your journey, I would like to have a coffee with you, or just a
Mhm.
minute of your time, just to really get a sense of how you got where you are. And then during that
Mhm.
conversation, you can drop it of like, actually, I as currently I'm unemployed. So if there's something there, don't start with the unemployment.
But the sense that you know what, that's a long shot. People online, they don't have time. People are always in a hurry. You know, this one is a long shot sense because you know how people ignore you. You ignore your DMs and this and that, you know, but you never know. You never know, you
Yeah,
know. So shoot your shots, guys, professionally, obviously. I think me that the DMs that I don't respond to are those whereby someone is just saying hi, but they are not saying, Guti, what is this about? So then it means I must go back. Do you think you are lucky? Is it possible? Is it something ejwayelekile to achieve what you've achieved in such a short period of time? Do you think you are lucky?
yeah. To be honest, and this is God's honest truth, is I've always, and my friends know this, is I've always, I guess, it's not lucky. I've always felt that my life, I always make a joke that my life, it feels like a season 6 of a series, and the producers and the writers have run out of things to say or do with this character. So they're just throwing things your way. In many ways, in my life, in terms of how my life has evolved over the past 10 years, it feels like that. And what
Okay.
that means for me is it's not luck. I think I was prepared for the opportunities that came my way. It's just that I might have had an eye on something else, and then someone or something else had me in its mind. So and then if they were aligned, if there was a level of alignment between my aspirations and that, I went for it, and I went for it hard. And it was never my first job wasn't easy. In fact, I wouldn't have hired myself when I joined my employer as the portfolio manager responsible for grant making. I wouldn't have hired myself. I was completely green. I remember in the meeting of the team meeting, I froze having to present to the team. And that's when I realized I'm like, where shwele bazongqosha?
I see you sit in a number of boards. Do you think it's helping you in your career? And you're gonna tell us how you get into boards. How does it work?
Yeah. Listen, again, so part of my, like I mentioned earlier, is I work for an organization that's funds organization and that incubates some of these organizations. So in many of the boards I currently sit in, I sit as a company representative. So they were not after me when I joined the board, they were after my employer. That's the first way I get board. It's your employer saying, go and represent my interest in that company.
Okay.
The second way of, and then the other way of doing it is they typically get advertised on platforms where people are calling for specific board skill sets to join their boards. That's another way you can also apply. And then the other way that I've had the experience of is people approaching me because of their perceived value of what I will bring into the organization.
Okay.
And then obviously if it's in alignment and I have capacity, I will then join and join in that board. To be honest, not something I have used and leveraged to catapult my career. If anything,
Okay.
that's because I just think there's a fine line when you're using roles of board and oversight to benefit yourself. I don't think that's the
Okay.
primary responsibility of being in a board.
Okay. Okay. No, that's fair enough. What's next for you? I have to let you go now, but
I guess I've been with my employer probably since beginning of time. So being part of this break, I've asked myself deep questions about if I want to, do I see myself in this organization for the next 10 years? So that's career wise, or explore something else elsewhere. But also at a family level, obviously we all survived COVID. Some of us suffered significant losses in our families.
yes.
I was not immune to that. So part of it is I'm based in Cape Town, and my family is in KZN. So I'm very much even thinking about whether or not I want to be closer to my family, and if that has an implication. So what next for me is as basic as that. It's so I guess I guess in many ways for me, what next is I don't know. So it might be that through your platform, Bonnie, someone who thinks I might you in their company or in their idea they're working on, they might DM me. It could be one of the DMs that I will click. Yep, double click on that one, and yeah,
Okay. We need to leave.
yeah.
Are we going to leave your LinkedIn profile? Do you want me to leave the LinkedIn profile? Yes, no.
I'll leave it the same. Maybe is I'm not on social media. I have a social media blackout. In fact, one of my anxieties was participating in this platform because I never want to be known or
Okay.
be publicly available. But if it will help anyone, really be
Yeah.
smart about it because yeah.
So sorry guys, this video ended abruptly, but you can drop your comments below for us and share this video with someone that might need it. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Bye, and thanks for watching.